If we don't introduce the concept of peace, if a veteran who comes home doesn't have peace in their heart, they aren't going to have peace in their relationships. If they don't have peace in their nervous system, they're not going to have peaceful sleep at night. So how can we introduce the concept and the state or vibration of peace for veterans returning home?
That's really an important part of helping the veteran. Friendship, I think, is the number one way to get him back home, because as long as they're suffering, they're not quite home. And so friendship is a friendship that comes from the heart. And so it's the vibration of beauty that is peaceful, the inner beauty that is peaceful. And so what we try to do is to get one person, perhaps a veteran also, from the village level, and team them up with that person. And the one person will make sure the other person goes to an AA meeting, for instance. And if one person wants to take a drink, the first thing he has to do is call his friend, his sponsor, and then they talk together. And then if he still wants to take a drink, then he can. But the friend is always there. He can call him in the evening, at night, during the day, or he can even call him at work. But he's always open. And then, of course, the sponsor is also being helped by the person that he's helping. So pretty soon the two lines get blurry. You don't know who the sponsor is and who the friend is, the helping person. And so that then you take that, and because it's contagious, then you take that to other people. And then pretty soon you gather and start creating activities without drinking or without taking hard drugs with the whole family. You start getting the whole families involved, because the families have to readjust to the veteran when he comes home. That's what I've seen, and so that it's a long-range program that might take maybe 2-3 months to finally get it going to where families are getting together now instead of individuals, and socializing in ways that their children are doing games together, maybe baseball games or basketball games, just families of returning veterans at the village level. And then also at the village level for us, it's getting back to the ceremonial life of the village, which is an annual occurrence that occurs, and getting back in with the elders who run the ceremonial side of community participation.
One of the things I've come to realize is about how much war is based on a state of separation. You have a line or a distinction, and you have one side who says, we're this team, you're the other team. There's something fundamentally different about us. And in initiating to war, preparing for war, those differences are exaggerated so that the enemy becomes something even non-human or dehumanized. So coming back into a state of peace seems like it would have to be the opposite of that. Instead of making distinctions and saying, we're on this side, you're on that side, of saying, we're all together. So that's another thing I struggle with sometimes, is how can we work with veterans to help them move from a state of seeing other people as the enemy to seeing other people as their brother and sister.
I'm already in my 80s, and I remember when I was 12 years old, it was required, they'd say, we've got to go to this feast or that feast by our parents. And so with the veterans, it was the same thing, only now it was for a different reason. But and so we overcame the addiction through friendship and love for each other. And so it's something that then we looked forward to. We would say, well, I'm looking forward to going to see the Sundance because I know such and such is dancing there, and we both had difficulties with alcoholism and drug abuse, and so we're going to dress up and we're going to go to the dance so we can see them, and so we could keep the friendship and the loving vibration by eating food together. We go to their feast, and now we're 40 or 50 years old, but we're still going and doing what we were doing when we came home from war. Only now we're bringing along our children, who someday may end up going to war, and if they do, they'll know that friendship is where you go, because all of us live on Indian reservations, and so we stay in that area of the being and vibration of the humanity of the heart, the brotherly, sisterly kind of relationship that brings us holistically into one unit.